everybody, it's Miss Marie. Happy fall. Today we're going to be painting one of my favorite fall symbols, the sunflower. And I've done mine like a half of a sunflower peeking out so that I could get a lot of sky in the background and really concentrate on the shape and the colors of the sunflower and the colors of the fall sky, which are so beautiful. Fall is a great time of year, a lot of changes. The sunflowers that we planted in the spring are now almost done, and they are past, usually they're turning brown, but they've created a bunch of beautiful seeds which will plant themselves. Really, if you just leave them where they are, they'll grow up again next year, which is kind of cool, kind of a thing that I love about fall. The changing of the seasons, the promise that the sunflowers will come again, and the summer will be here again before we know it. Winter comes really fast and then it's summer again. So I love that, and I love that about the sunflowers and how they are a symbol of fall. So stay with me, and I hope you have your kit from the library to paint your own sunflower. Bye. Okay, so what you're gonna get for your in your bag is a canvas and a paper with the sunflower pattern on it that you can cut out and use, some paint with extra yellow in there for the sunflower, and a paintbrush. And what you're going to need from home is some paper to cover the work surface, some paper plates to mix the paint on, some water to clean your brush off on, and scissors to cut out your sunflower, which I already did, and a pencil to trace your sunflower. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, and what you can do is you can either take your sunflower and line it up down here at the corner and have all this be blue, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my sunflower pattern up here towards the top, and then I'm going to trace it, and then I'm going to trace the rest of the pattern down here to fill it in a little bit more. And at the circle part, it doesn't have to be, well, I'll show you how to do that. So let's do a leaf of a petal here. Don't do it too heavy because you're going to cover it with yellow paint, which is sometimes a little see-through. So do like that. Then I'm going to turn this around and finish my flower this way, because I want it to be a bigger, fuller flower. So many different ways you could do this. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to use my scissors. After I've traced the petals, I'm going to cut out the circle part, or cut off the petals like that, and use that to trace my circle. Put it kind of in the middle, and I'm just doing half a circle because I want only half the canvas to be sunflower, and the rest is going to be sky. I'm going to do sky back here. That's what the blue is for in your paint. All right, so the rest is pretty easy. I'm going to start with just yellow, and I'm going to outline my sunflower petals. So, you see what I mean about that pencil mark. It does come right through, so we're going to have to go over that a couple times, but that's okay. I'll come back to that. You could also do this without tracing if you like. You have to just do it freehand. And now that kind of still doesn't really look like a sunflower, right? Because it looks like like more of a sun that you would draw on a canvas or something. So we're going to come down, we're going to add, drag that line all the way around, and we're going to shape these a little bit more on both sides so that they are a little rounder, a little less pointy. And later on, we're going to go back through and add more color to that so that you'll really start to see the pattern. So now I'm going to clean up my brush a little bit, or you could leave it. It really depends on how you like it. You know what, maybe I'll leave it. I'm going to use some brown and do this middle part, which is where the sunflower seeds are going to be. The middle of the sunflower is always a little bit brown. I'm gonna let that dry for a few minutes. You can use a hairdryer if you want. Ask your grown-up first to blow on in there and to help that dry. And then we're gonna come back in and we're gonna do those petals with some more colors. Okay, so now that it's dry, we're gonna go back in and add more color, fill in those leaves. I left a little bit of brown on my brush and on my plate. And I'm gonna add some yellow now, plenty of yellow. And I'm gonna kind of blend it just a little bit to be a little bit darker at the edges. So let's see, a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow. Don't be afraid of the brown, because what happens is this time of year, the sunflower is almost done, so it does start to turn a little bit brown anyway. And there's always natural bits of brown in there. So I'm just gonna go back and highlight that. You can see how that's also covering up those pencil marks, which is nice. Maybe we just add little highlights on each of the petals, brown. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm gonna let that dry some more. I'm gonna rinse off my brush, and yeah, I'll be ready to finish this up with some blue sky and maybe some white highlights, and we'll see what we can do in the middle there just to make it look like a little bit of seeds too. Okay. While I'm waiting for this to dry, I decided I would try out doing the seeds. And what I did was I blended a little bit of green in with the brown and yellow, and then I put a little bit of white off to the side using a clean tip of my brush just to get a little bit of white on there. And then I dipped the paintbrush into this mix of yellow, brown, and green. And then I didn't smear around, I just went like this and picked up a tiny little bit of white on the tip of my brush. And then I started stippling like this, going up and down in sort of like a circular pattern, because the seeds from the sunflower do come out in sort of a spiral coming out from the center. And so I just keep going up and down around there, not smearing, but going up and down with the green, brown, and yellow, and a tiny little bit of white on there. And you see how it's making little, almost like seeds in the middle. And I think that's how I'm gonna go with it. I like the way that looks. So I'm gonna keep on doing that until I've got that all covered in the middle. Oops, let's get a little bit of white on there. Okay, let's keep going. And there you have it. It looks like seeds growing inside the middle of the sunflower, because that's what happens this time of year. The sunflower has spent all year, like since the beginning of spring, emerging from a little tiny seed into a bud, into a beautiful, huge yellow sunflower by this time of year. And a lot of them are done. So they start making seeds in the middle of the flower, which then will dry up and fall down to the ground and become the sprouts for next year for new sunflowers. So I wanted to make sure we got those seeds in there, because that's definitely what happens around this time of year. Is mostly sunflowers are going to be past soon. They're not going to be so bright and yellow anymore, but they're going to have all these lovely seeds to drop for next spring, which is wonderful. How the sunflowers just keep regenerating themselves. All right, so I'm going to take a break, let that dry all the way, especially around the edges here, and then we're going to do the blue. Okay, so now that it's nice and dry, I've gone and I've gotten a clean plate to do my sky colors, and I'm washing off my brush really, really well. And I'm going to mix my sky colors. I'm going to do mostly blue. So push that out there and I let a little bit of the white fall on there too. That was sort of accidentally on purpose, but I do need that. And then I'm gonna go and get a little bit of green on my brush too, just because I think that maybe I like to have a little bit of tinge of green in my sky. Just take a little bit on there, put that off to the side. And then I'm gonna mix it up and see what color I like for the sky. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice light blue-green, a little white in there, and that's gonna be my sky color. And so I'm gonna come in and paint this whole background, going as close as I can to the petals, and then filling in. Like that. Oh, I love that color. That's really pretty. All right, and there you have it. And I think that what you'll notice is that I painted all along the edges too. I tried to use the color that I was working with, so brown, yellow here, blue all the way around here. Also, it didn't matter if I ran out of paint here and I had to remix and it wasn't perfect, the exact match, because I like that it has a little bit of different colors going on in here. And finally, what I tried to do was cover up where I did too many brush stroke changes. Like if I had to go around here, then I tried to balance it out by going back in and going up and down again, so that the brush strokes mostly go in the same direction. I thought that looks a little neater and a little nicer. You can always go back and add like a little bit more white if you want, blend that all the way in. So many different things you could do to your painting to make it yours. And that's it. I'll go back and just add a little white and a little blue and green, just to make the sky a little bit brighter. And that's it. And I hope you enjoy making your beautiful sunflower, and have a great fall. I hope I'll see you at the library at some of our programs.